Final year, I decided to write about the duty of directors to promote sustainability within their companies, right? Also, just to be sure, because you just never know, go through the ones that you're not sure about as well. And if you find something that's enlightening or like gives a light bulb moment.
So, I mean, my friend, what we do is that we both read the case, then we meet up to discuss the case, the issues, and then we develop a model IREC.
What do you guys did at the time? Especially because I remember with Law of Delict, there were literally almost 300 cases.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. So today's episode is a little bit special because here at Citizen Suits podcast, we have a Student Takeover. I am here with law students who are doing different years of their law degree, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves. We're going to start with you. Please tell us who you are, where you're studying, what year you're doing.
Okay, my name is Orefile Murwa.
Orefile, why are you whispering?
Okay, my name is Orefile Murwa, and I'm studying at WITS, and I'm a second-year law student doing LLB.
Okay, and then you?
My name is Lucy Mujajati. I'm studying at WITS. I'm doing my postgrad LLB.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Bokang. I'm currently doing my LLM, specializing in extractive industries at the University of Pretoria.
Come on, right? So I think we have a good reflection. You know, second year, you are like third, fourth year, and then a master's student. And of course, I am not a student. I haven't been an undergrad student in a very long time, like a very, very long time. Okay, ladies, this is for you, about you, for people who are like you. So let's start chatting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just take it from here. So what do you guys think, especially like from an undergraduate perspective right now, is the hardest thing for you? Especially academically.
Yeah, I think from an undergrad perspective, the hardest thing could be trying to navigate like how employable you are. Like if you're doing enough academically and socially and extracurricularly, like is everything enough? Are you well-rounded enough? Like what's your focus like? I think that is one of the biggest challenges in undergrad is trying to figure out how to put myself out there without burning out. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Is that something you've always been thinking about, or are you only thinking about it now while you're doing your, after you did BCom or BA?
BCom.
Were you thinking about that during your BCom years?
I think it actually only became something now because during my BCom, I knew that I was going to do the postgrad LLB, so there was no pressure or stress that I was really feeling. But now coming into the LLB and knowing that next year is my last year, like things need to start happening, things need to move. It really starts to dawn on you, like, are you doing enough? Are you putting yourself out there enough? Like, do you know enough?
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you?
No, I share the same resentment as Lucy. Academically, it's just like, okay, for me as a second year, someone who has never done a degree before, the toughest thing is about mastering your subject and if you're doing well enough, especially when you see that your mates are doing, we're not saying they're doing better, but they look like that. But then it's trying to balance around academics and also your social, your involvement, because I'm a person who's very involved. So trying to find balance in all those things. And also the stress about now coming to apply to articles and things. That's the hardest thing academically right now.
So when you say you're someone who's very involved socially, do you mean outside of university social activities, or do you mean societies in university kind of involvement? What do you?
Well, I mean, it's societies in university. So it's societies within school. Outside I am, but I'm not really a social person, but I am social. But then it's within societies in school, as Lucy said, we have to be well-rounded individuals and you have to do something that you actually love. So,
Yeah.
And then you, what was your biggest challenge during undergrad?
I think for me, I've always known that I wanted to do a master's, but also I started applying for jobs, right, like articles, graduate programs. And obviously, like, I was gravitating more towards doing a master's. But then my main thing was, do I want to do environmental law or extractive industries, and my reasoning behind it. But also then once you start applying for jobs and nothing comes through, you're just like, it makes you question yourself. Like, am I good enough? Is this even what I want for myself, right? So I think, but once I got acceptance into master's, especially because extractive industries was my first choice, I was just like, okay, this is a confidence boost, and essentially I know that I am where I'm supposed to be in this moment, and I'm enjoying it.
Did you know that you wanted to do that, and what role did the modules you took as electives like play in that? Because I think one of the things you're actually doing now, what is it?
Extractive industries.
Extractive industries is not an elective in university, and I've never heard of it before. And so how did you come to that?
Okay, so firstly, at University of Pretoria, it is actually an elective, right? So, but I didn't go with it because...
Okay, sorry, Bokang, just for context, you're using extractive industries, but there's another word for it, which is mining law.
No, it's extractive.
It's mining and oil and gas. It can't be the extractive.
It's EIL, literally. It's extractive industries.
Yes, but it includes mining and oil. And so what I'm saying is that when you're saying
okay.
Okay, sorry. No. I just thought, maybe I may be wrong, is that there's some universities who offer mining law as an elective undergrad that would fall under extractive industries.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell us the names of the subjects that would fall under extractive industries? That's what... So that
right now at master, because I don't do it at undergrad level, right? I'm only doing it now at postgraduate level. Okay. So the modules that I have are rights and regulations, sustainability aspects, of course, my mini dissertation, and essentially like those are modules that teach you how to research.
Okay.
So because I didn't do it at undergrad level, I wouldn't have insight on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So my industry guess, to answer your question, extractive industries include stuff like mining law, oil and gas law.
Yeah.
So if the universities that offer that, they would,
Oh, no, that makes sense. Because I think when I looked at the electives at VETS, I don't think that's included at all. So I'm hearing this for the first time.
Even mining?
Okay. Yeah, like it's not there. Like, so I was like, oh, okay, wait, where did you learn this? Science. What's happening?
Okay, so just to answer your question, right? So essentially, I got introduced to the topic of ESG, mining, energy, during a VAC work program at an international law firm, and I fell in love with it. I was just like, this is interesting. I like it. I think it's a good balance between how do we grow economically? How do we make profit for businesses whilst also being sustainable? Because I think sustainability is a rising topic right now. It's a hot topic. So then in my final year, I decided to write about the duty of directors to promote sustainability within their companies, right? And that fell under mercantile law. And that's how I decided that actually I want to go further with this.
Yeah.
And I want to focus specifically in mining or oil and gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you bring up something like that's so interesting because you touch on how you got introduced to it through VAC work. And just through a lot of conversations that I've had with my friends and other people who are studying right now, they've all kind of indicated how important VAC work was for them to actually be in the practicality of law and how that's influenced what they think about it and the types of law that they want to study. Like my friend, she was at a law firm doing VAC work and she fell in love with competition law just because of that.
Yeah.
And that was even before she took it as a module at school and all those kind of things. So you've obviously done that. You've been through all of that. So what did that kind of feel like for you, like going into the practical aspect of law, and what role did it play for you in actually choosing what you want to practice?
Okay, so the weird thing is I only did VAC work a month before I started articles.
Okay.
I unfortunately, I worked and studied, so I was in survival mode for most of my degree until the 11th hour. So I did VAC work in December and I started articles. I was fortunate enough that they took me for articles after that. So I also I can only answer that through friends, and a lot of my friends who did VAC work also knew the kind of field that they want to get into, be it through masters or the rotations they want to get through was informed by VAC work. So VAC work is very, very important. I think another thing that also VAC work can help, and I've seen it help people, is to know that they don't want to go in practice.
Yeah.
That 1 or 2 week has made 2 friends of mine who say, you know what, this is not for me.
Do you relate?
I think I can relate mainly because I think one of my biggest struggles throughout my journey is the fact that I think I often question like my character or my personality. Like I'm a very quiet, reserved person. And automatically when people say, I'm studying law, they think you're all up in their faces, you're very argumentative. But I think for me personally, I think I'm just very reserved. I speak when spoken to and when there is a need. And when I feel like it's relevant, I've got something substantive to add. Yeah, I think.
Quick question, guys. Like, we didn't put poison in your drinks. Why are you not drinking? But if you're in your second year, is VAC work something you're thinking about? Have you applied?
Yes.
Are your peers applying?
Yes, we all applied actually. So we send each other like links, like, hey, apply, this is opening. So we did apply, we'll see if we accept it. But I did get to do like VAC in my first year. I was fortunate enough. So I did in a property firm. I was very lucky.
When did you apply? In your first, like, which part of your first year did you? How did you know where to apply to?
Like,
Please tell us.
No, it's my funder.
Okay.
So through the funder, so they have a budget program for their students. So I was fortunate enough that they took me in, and I did VAC there my first year. Really enlightening experience. It's
Can I ask you something? There's a question that I get a lot from students as I interact with them, and it's about how you guys tackle case law and all the cases that need. Like, what's your approach? What has been working? What hasn't been working?
Okay. Since you're a master,
I think most of the time what we did was the method where, like, if we had like maybe 5 cases, right, and I had quite a huge group of friends, one would read this one would read the other one, and then we go through it, right? But if we are not sure that you're covering the substantial parts of it, then we exchange, go through it again, discuss it, and then but also just to be sure, because you just never know, go through the ones that you're not sure about as well. And if you find something that's enlightening or like gives a light bulb moment, then share it with everyone.
Okay.
And how do we speak to the ones who don't have the group of friends to exchange with, or you do have a group of friends but you're not studying the same thing?
No, but Lucy, you're cheating the system. You're supposed to tell us. Everybody's supposed to say how they tackled case law, so please share yours.
But I just thought about it. I was thinking about, they teach us a method in school. They're like, IPAC, right?
IPAC.
Yeah, that's the method. Maybe
do you know IPAC?
It shouldn't be.
We use FILEC or IREC.
Yeah,
I think that's a okay.
Yeah, there's
we
IREC,
can apply
IPAC,
differently.
FIREC. There's different ways because. IPAC is the issue, principle, application, conclusion, and then FIREC deals almost with the same elements, but obviously with its own steps. That's how they teach you, like, formally how to read a case. But I think you'll find when you're reading a case, it's not that easy to be able to extract what the issue was, what the principle is, how, like the application part, especially
what the
because
ratio is, what is the
exactly, especially because court feels like there's so many conversations that are happening. Like you're not sure whether the judge is setting principle or he's just making conversation in the courtroom. So I think the friend thing really works, and I always consult. I really do. I love to go to my lecturers or people that I think should know this more than I do and consult and ask for help, because I get stuck a lot, and especially with very long cases, like it's 58 pages. I'm highlighting every single thing from the minute they start.
But also, on that point as well, I think sometimes, if I'm being quite honest, there is like enough time, but like not really, because then what we also used to do is like you'd find that some students had like sell their notes, right? And
like for profit.
Yes, like so like a third year now would sell their second year notes to the new students.
And then you find that even in like the next year, you have the same case. Yes. So you buy those notes and then you use them, and they would have already summarized the substantial points of it. Yeah. So that was also another method that really worked.
Yes, and also there are like a lot of tutoring circles that do this, like Golden Key is one of them. you can go to you pay like 150 Rand for a session, and they summarize notes, cases, and everything for you. I think it depends on you as a person if you might understand the case from the summaries, because sometimes they oversimplify it, and if you don't know the facts of the case, it might not be as easy to.
Orefile, what's your approach to
Case
all
law.
the cases that?
Yeah, case law is really hard, especially as a first year when you don't know any law thing. But then the hack we're taught is, I think, is a juta where it gives you a footnote, like a little summary of what happens. So I use that system because before I read, I already have like a background story of what's happening. And then by the time I read the case, I know it. But also, I think the friends thing also helped out. So me and my friend, what we do is that we both read the case, then we meet up to discuss the case, the issues, and then we develop a model IPAC, where okay, this is the issue, opposite dictum, the decision, the rules and everything. I think that helps. But I haven't done any tutoring forum yet. But I think tutoring forum does help. I've seen there's this one advocate who's not doing LM at UCT. So he also is tutoring forum, and I've once seen his services, they're very good. So students can also do that. But I think a friend thing is very good, but for those people who don't have friends, I think your lectures should be your best friends, because you like just consult with them, they'll just hear the right direction.
So just for you and your friend, do you guys all read all the cases, or do you split the cases?
No, you must read all your cases.
Oh wow!
Like, cause her understanding and my understanding might be completely different, right? So what we do is that, like, not to influence us thinking, you both read the cases, then we can come together, and then in cases where she sees I'm strong, I will, when we have a question regarding that, when we're revising, I would handle that application, and then in cases where she's strong, she'll handle that application. So like how we use case law to apply. She'll tell me, okay, when a question like this comes, and this case is needed applied like this, and also like that, so that we know each other's strengths.
Bokang, you and your friends, was everybody reading all the cases? Oh, you said you guys wouldn't read all of them.
Yeah,
you
they
split
divide
them.
everything.
So it's very funny because you and I studied at tax, and my friends and I also took the same approach, and they were at Wits, and they are reading all the cases. So what I want is, where do you guys get the time? Especially because I remember with law of delict, there were literally almost 300 cases. Where do you find the time to read? But you guys don't even have law of delict as a compulsory.
We do.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Second year.
Like, where do you find the time to read all the cases in all the modules? But also taking into I take into account that you VIT students have less modules than we at tax have. I think you guys have like 4 or 5. We would run it like 7, 8 a semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very different for every student, because there are some students who are like taking 8. Like I had 7 modules last year, and now I have 3, because I was like, okay, I'm not putting myself through that again. But something that works for me, and something that I recently got introduced to, was this platform called Notebook LM, where you find your case yourself and you put it through the server, and what happens is the case is explained to you as though it's a conversation.
What is it called? Say it again for
Notebook
people.
LM.
Notebook LM, right? So you put your case through, you put the file through, and 2 people basically have a conversation about the case. Like the lady will maybe ask the guy, so what was the issue in this case? And he'll answer, and he'll explain the principles and all those kind of things. That's how we find time. But before this resource was made known to me, it was really, how honest am I allowed to be?
It's important to be honest, because there could be somebody who's struggling with a similar thing and doesn't know, and they think that they are the ones who are failing at something, and not everybody else shared that. Please try, be honest. Hopefully no lecturers listening to this podcast.
Hopefully. It really was for me a game of listening to what was going on in the lectures, because I think your lecturers really give you a hint of what is actually important for your tests and exams and stuff like that. And so, like with property law, you can't answer a question in property without a case. Like, you can know anything you want to know, but if there's no case, you've got no backing up, right? And so going to classes kind of helped me understand. He's like, okay, that was emphasized. This was emphasized. We discussed this. We did this. This case we briefly touched on. We only touched on this aspect of that case. And so that kind of allowed me to prepare my mind to know, okay, I need to know this much, and this I just need to be able to understand the facts and maybe a principle or 2 from it. That kind of thing was how I navigated that. I never read all 16 of my cases for every module.
16?
Yeah.
1/6?
One module would have 16 cases, and you have
that
7
is
topics
all
to study. that is sometimes all.
I think
This was completely different. Like,
also, like, if I'm being quite honest, right? As much as we did like the method of you read this, you read that, or take the one that you like and then come back and tell us, I think the method of buying notes, especially
100%.
because we would have similar cases, it did wonders.
okay, Bokang, so let me ask you this because you are a recent tracks graduate. Lucy says roughly, let's say maybe 20 cases per subject. Roughly how many?
No, not per subject, per module, like per topic type of thing. So if topic 1 has 16 and then topic 2 might have like 10 or whatever, when it comes down to it, you have maybe 45, 57 cases for the exam that you're prepping for type of thing. So not the whole year.
Why are you looking at her like that?
Like, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying
Like
to
for us,
remember.
I remember DLECT, we counted. There was almost 260 something cases.
I don't even think we got that far when I
No,
did
I
DLECT.
also don't think it was that deep.
Like,
it was not that. It couldn't
DLECT
have-
was for us was bad.
I think
but
also
like-
it was a...
Criminal law was even worse.
we can agree, but
Criminal law was
no.
I think that was one of the modules that really threatened my entire academic.
I'm sorry. Okay, ladies. We're gonna have to wrap up for now on our student takeover. It was nice hanging out with you, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next student takeover, which I won't be here. It'll be a full student takeover.
Yeah.
Let's sign out.
Bye.